What's up, nerds? Welcome to PowBlock Expansion Pack, your Monday dose of Nintendo here on youtube.com/NGR Radio. I'm Corey, and joining me as always is Edward, and we are here to talk about
Hey, everybody.
more multiplayer Metroid, Ed. More multiplayer Metroid. We talked about a game a couple weeks ago, and this conversation we're going to have today is where I originally wanted that conversation to go at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But we got on the track of like Helldivers mixed in with some Destiny talk, mixed in with some, perk style systems of Call of Duty and Halo, like in class based stuff. And I thought it was like a really, really, really good discussion. But today we're going to talk about a multiplayer game that might fit in a Metroid or a multiplayer suite that would fit in with Metroid Prime 4. We assume, based on the original Metroid Prime trilogy, that this is going to be a first-person game. And so we assume Nintendo is going to want it to appeal to lots of people, and we assume they're going to add some sort of multiplayer suite to it. Now, they may not. You know, Metroid Prime 1 didn't, and Metroid Prime 3 didn't. And a lot of people thought Metroid Prime 2's was so-so, but they would rather go off and be playing Halo instead of Metroid. But now that everybody's kind of got an online infrastructure in place, maybe they'll revisit the multiplayer modes. And we're going to talk about like what we want to see in terms of a multiplayer suite for Metroid. Ed, in the previous non-recording, you mentioned going back to like an arcade style mode.
Yeah, well, arcade style mode more as in as a score based system, where whoever gets the highest score is rewarded with the best gear. If you get the lowest score, you get low gear, and with your points. You could bank your points, your scores, and put that into like strengthening your suit or your weapons. So you guys are playing multiple matches, and it's a level up system for the equipment in a sense, but if you gotta kind of think about what kind of score you're gonna get. So, and that consists of everybody doing the hunting, beating certain agendas, fighting secrets. I think this will kind of reduce not time trials, speedsters, people who want to try to see if they could get through a mission quick, because if you get through it quick, that's less points that you get.
Edward.
Yeah.
Just can you like repeat like the last 5 seconds of what you just said?
Oh, okay. If you could, score a lot of points, you'll be able to have a higher score based system. So it kind of be like combos and stuff, like almost like if you don't take a hit while you're fighting and stuff, your score goes up. And your counterpoint, kind of like I use Graceful Explosion Machine, that when you hit a lot of enemies without getting hit, the counter for your score goes up. So every time you hit something, it'll double that amount or triple that amount. So if you could get something like that, you have more chance to be number one, to have better gear. Nice. And then you could take that gear, and if you guys want to do a regular first person multiplayer mode, PvP, you can. Or all your gear that you guys take, you guys go out and do a hunt. Kind of like, then it becomes a little bit like Monster Hunter in a sense.
Yeah.
But still in that first person view.
Yeah, like what I kind of want to see from like a first person aspect is like I know Nintendo's not going to do Destiny, but I want them to borrow elements of like squatting up with a couple people and like maybe like 4 people, similar to what Federation Force was. But I want them. I really want them in terms of like a co-op mode. I want them to explore that part deeper. Like, I really like the idea of Federation Force. Like, I like the idea of you being a bounty hunter, teaming up with your friends, going on missions to these planets, exploring these dungeons on the planets, and like really digging through to, you know, fight like a mid boss and then get a piece of gear, or going all the way through and fighting a big boss, and then you get gear from completing that mission. And I really like that idea. I would like to see them flesh it out, and you know, I would like them to add maybe like different armor sets, or, you know, maybe have a class-based system similar to what Destiny does. Actually, more similar to what I would say almost like what Overwatch does, in terms of, you know, one person can be a healer, or like you can, maybe there's a skill tree that you can kind of like customize your character the way you want it. Maybe you want to be a full-on healer, so there's this healing tree over here. Or, you know, maybe you want to be a healer that can also do a little bit of DPS, and then you customize your character that way. And I'm thinking of like an upgrade tree similar to like the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
And like you just kind of like, as you collect items throughout the world, like every mission you complete, maybe you get like gems or something that you fill in these holes in, and that's how you level up your character. Like maybe you want to be a defensive player, where maybe you set up some remote control turrets, or maybe a shield, or barricades or something, and that could be a way you go too. And then you can upgrade your armor the same way, and you can find pieces of armor that benefit your abilities that you upgrade. Like, I would really like to see some kind of deep, not too deep, but like some kind of deep upgrade tree that, you know, you might have to think about how you want to build out a bounty hunter. And then you can go on like special bounties and like the bounty hunt mode we were talking about. and as you create, like as you go on these bounty hunts, you create opportunities to get bigger rewards as you complete different objectives within the level. Maybe you have bonus objectives that grant you better items, you know, like something like that. Because I really like the idea of like a class-based bounty hunter team system.
Yeah. I was thinking while you was mentioning, I was just like, that would be cool to do like a boss rush mode.
Yeah.
And you take all 3 Prime games, but also maybe take Super Metroid and redesign those bosses on how they will look in 3D space. Like, let those be like special bosses or something like that.
Or like if you're doing like maybe there's like different tiers of bounty hunts, and then you have like the beginner ones that like teach you like the mechanics of a bounty hunt. Then you have like, maybe there's like 4 tiers. There's like a normal tier where like that's where you go if you really want to like grind out, you know, upgrade your upgrade tree. Maybe you just keep repeating those. And then the second to top tier is like, oh, here's where you can get some cool gear or some cool weapon upgrades and stuff. And then that final tier, you have to be like, it would be like the legendary mode of a raid in Destiny, where like you and your friends all have to be on the same page, solving puzzles, taking down enemies. And then, you know, maybe there's like 2 or 3 or even 4 bosses within this, and they're all like the legendary Metroid bosses, where like, you know, like Kraid and Mother Brain, and you know, there's so much they could do with that, just because like Metroid has such distinct bosses that you could mess around with,
right?
So
and still use the class system,
yeah,
like for defense, offense, support. You know, you can still use the class system. I think that would literally be cool. Because like Metroid Prime, if you look at Metroid Prime 2, you not only got like the dark world, you got the light world. So you got like 2 bosses you got more bosses that you can fight. Mini bosses, um, and like for the support characters, um, that's supporting you, they still have a little bit of an attack, but it doesn't do much. It stuns them, to keep them away.
Yeah.
And your offense has to be the ones that damage it or break it off, so that you could be able to.
Yeah.
All you need is pretty much like 4 classes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. I found you. So, like, I really like the idea of the class-based system, and then like to move it over to multiplayer. Maybe like I was thinking something like you get different perks and stuff, but maybe that's your upgrade tree for your character, and then you can literally like. It'd be like Overwatch, where you can just take the bounty hunter you've created and work some matchmaking magic to, like, make sure that people who don't have a lot of their upgrade tree filled out go up against, like, people who filled the whole thing out, But,
to help them out.
Yeah, and maybe, like, you just take your player online, similar to what Destiny does. You have certain gear, you have certain weapons, like... And then it just becomes a game of like weapon balancing or armor balancing or perk balancing, where like if you fill out your tree, like you don't want somebody who can heal faster than somebody can take someone down, like, it would just be a game of balancing then, instead of like, oh well, how do we balance this class against this class?
And hopefully the matchmaking will be easier.
Yeah.
Hopefully, because that's going to be one of the most important things, is the matchmaking is easier. That people who need help, if the servers could recognize that, hey, we want you to work with this person to help them get better.
Yeah.
And I think that would kind of be cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I really want Metroid Prime 4 to succeed. I think it's going to do better than a lot of Metroid has in the last few entries, just because Switch is selling so well, and people are looking for that kind of experience on the Switch, because we really don't have one, So I want Metroid to succeed, and I want them to do a really cool multiplayer mode that just changes up everything. I think the bounty hunts are cool ideas. I think a class-based multiplayer system is cool. I think landing on a planet with your friends and going into dungeons and caves and exploring and finding stuff and fighting bosses similar to Metroid, but you do it with your friends instead of, kind of make it like an open world dense kind of thing. Kind of what Destiny tries to do, but really Nintendo really knows how to flesh out a world, and if Bandai Namco is really working on it, maybe Nintendo can go in there and like really just like walk everybody through and clean it up. But yeah, exactly, and make this really dense, complicated world that you can explore with your friends, that maybe secrets won't come out until a year after the game's out, and this is where you find it, and this is how you do it.
Right.
I think that would be really, really cool, and really get a community going for that.
And I think it would be, I think it would be cool. You could treat the stuff that you acquire as almost like a new game plus for if you go to a different class. So let's say that you filled up all your offense and stuff. Well, from your offense, you could take 5 perks from that, and now you want to be a support character. You can use those 5 offenses with your support. So now that you have, there's that adds more replayability, but it makes it easier a little bit because you know what to do. But now you're a support character. You be able to see it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I really don't have anything else to say. I want a cool kind of multiplayer co-op and competitive experience. Not that that's like what Metroid is, but that's what I would like to see if they want to make this game sell more than just a normal Metroid game.
Right.
I think that's what they need to do. Maybe like I don't want to say loot boxes, but like maybe they have cosmetic items you could buy. Maybe like I don't know, some kind of like skins you can buy or something to that effect. I just because like I know if they did that, that would be a lot of work to go into the game, and they would need to support it. I don't think Nintendo would do like loot boxes and random chance stuff, but I wouldn't mind seeing some microtransactions in terms of like maybe a I don't know.
I think it would be cool to have power ups from the Nintendo universe. Of course we could say Mario, but hey, what if the ink and stuff in Splatoon can really help players, like a support player? The ink that you're spitting on the wall reveals secrets for the whole team.
Yeah.
And you only could get that if you buy like the Splatoon pack for that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be $3.99. You get at least 10 guns or something.
Yeah.
For that tab.
Or I mean, if Nintendo's worried about that, like you can also buy the amiibo to unlock it. Also.
Yeah.
I mean, because like they're gonna get more money from that amiibo anyway than they are of a microtransactions, like a dedicated microtransaction. So like, why not entice people to go buy amiibo, and then offer this as a trade? It's like, hey, if you don't want our figures, you can purchase this for this much because whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really cool. And then of course you can buy cosmetic spaceship skins and stuff. Like I think that would be cool to, hey, this is the Super Metroid ship, you can buy it. Or like I don't know, here's an R-Wing from Star Fox.
I would love to have like a shoot 'em up, like 4-player shoot 'em up, like for its loading screen, like before you guys land on the planet or whatever to do your bounty. It'd be cool while going there. You guys are shooting.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that'd be cool. Like maybe you play a four-player co-op, a shoot 'em up to get to the planet, and it's just like a fun mini game to play to get to the planet. And the better you guys do, the more like quote starting items on the planet you get. Like, maybe the better you do in this mini game, the better the rewards you can find like hidden around.
Yeah.
Because like if you take down some of the enemies, you'll find their crashed parts on the planet.
Ooh,
and then you can scavenge the crashed ships for parts, and then you can make better weapons, better armor, trade them in for like the in-game currency that you can spend on stuff later in the game. Oh, yeah. Yes. Nailed it. The shoot 'em up's got to be like Super Metroid art though. It's got to be 16-bit.
Yeah.
It's got to be 16-bit. So
of course.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else to say on this subject?
I can't wait.
Ed?
Prime for it. Really worried about who's developing it. I just hope that Nintendo and that developer are making a great game, because I would love to return back to the Metroid series.
Yeah. I really hope like whoever's developing this, Nintendo really like hunkers down and is like, look, this game needs to be perfect, because we didn't mind Other M, but a lot of people didn't care about it, and I don't think Nintendo wants that reputation again of like working with a third party to make a Metroid game. So and they've gotten their footing back with Samus Returns and the announcement of Metroid Prime 4 at least. So we'll see. I'm excited, but I think that's going to do it for this episode of Expansion Pack. Remember, if you want to see a really in-depth look at our Metroid Helldivers game, you can check out the episode from 2 weeks ago. You can find Expansion Pack here on youtube.com/Expansion NGR Radio every Monday at noon with me and Ed, and maybe a special guest or two once in a while. So, for Ed, I'm Corey. Thank you so much for watching. And download Nintendo Power Block tomorrow. See ya.
Bye, everybody.